Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be discussing our second character coming into version 2.5. Before we get into today's video though, comment down below one of your favorite video games. It can be literally any video game that you have a love for. Yesterday I mentioned Pokemon Emerald, but today I gotta go with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, especially Explorers of Sky, and also Pokemon Platinum. If you guys do enjoy videos like these though, consider subscribing to see more Star Rail content from me, leave a like to support the video, and now let's discuss the reveal. Our second character of version 2.5 is going to be Lingsha, which if I pronounce that incorrectly, let me know how to pronounce it in the comments down below. But after looking at her description, she's actually part of the same race as Bailu and Honkai, which means we're getting another character with dragon-like features. I personally love dragons or dragon-like features on characters, so I'm pretty hyped up just for that reason alone. Plus, her design is super pretty, and I'd love to know what you guys think. I think the little bunny-like animals with her are adorable, and I have a feeling that she's going to have animations with them since they are in her splash art, and it would be really cool if they did. But what's really interesting about Lingsha in particular is that she is going to be a fire abundance character, which means we are now getting another premium sustaining character. For our sustains that have been limited characters, we have gotten Luocha, Fuxuan, Huahua, and lastly Aventurine. The rest would have been primarily 4-star sustain releases, for example, Lynx and Gallagher. And seeing how powerful our last limited sustain was, which was Aventurine, I honestly have super high hopes that Lingsha will be an excellent sustain, especially with just how our sustains have been turning out with being able to handle endgame content. What's really interesting though is that she will be sharing the same element and path as Gallagher, and this does raise the question if she will be better suited on team comps than he is, in particular those break-centric teams such as the Firefly team, or if she will be more of a general use, sustained character, or even both. More than likely though, she's going to have some sort of additional utility, maybe buffing ability, or even at this point possibly damage output. As for quick examples, Huahua was able to provide energy and attack, Fuxuan providing crit rate, Aventurine inflicting unnerved onto enemies, and also being able to deal his own fair share of damage with certain builds, and so on. Even Gallagher himself is able to debuff enemies with a skill kit. So I have no doubt that Lingsha will have additional utility on top of sustaining the team, which will make her an incredible asset for team comps. I've also noticed that we've been getting a lot of new players as of lately for Honkai Star Rail, which I wanted to say, welcome new players. I hope you've been enjoying the game so far. And for people who are new or maybe don't have many sustaining characters, this is definitely an excellent opportunity to now get the brand new sustained character for your teams. On the other hand, I also noticed a good amount of people only have one premium sustain. For example, you might only have one of the following, which is Huahua, Luocha, Fuxuan, or Aventurine, and you might be looking for a powerful secondary sustained character. We more than likely aren't going to be getting an Aventurine, Fuxuan, or Luocha rerun for a bit, but Huahua will more than likely be next patch, so now your options will essentially be to either pick up Huahua in version 2.4, if that is when she gets a rerun. I personally predict it will be though, since she hasn't gotten a rerun just yet, or waiting for Lingsha, who will be the brand new Abundance Sustain in version 2.5. If Huahua ends up being in version 2.4 though, and she is the secondary phase, I would highly recommend holding off on pulling her, unless of course you really like her. And the reason I recommend pulling off though is to see the 2.5 livestream to see what potential utility Lingsha will be able to provide on top of her sustaining capabilities, and that can help determine her value overall. Personally though, I do feel like she will provide immense value for accounts, especially if we do follow the trends of how good our limited sustained characters are on teams and how universal a lot of them are when it comes to being able to be slotted on majority of teams and help with the team survivability as well as performance. I do personally hope though that she does have that additional utility that allows her to be universal, but also even more benefits, possibly for a certain team archetype or just good buffing or debuffing capabilities. For example, like how Aventurine is perfect on follow-up centric teams, but he also works amazingly on other team comps too, with how much survivability he can provide for a team. Plus, as I mentioned, with the right builds, his own fair share of damage output as well. For For our upcoming lineup that we do have confirmed, we will have Yunli and Jiaoqiu, plus our free March 7th in version 2.4. My apologies, by the way, if I pronounce a name incorrectly, and that will be from what we have, of course, revealed. Feixiao and Lingsha for version 2.5 as well. I mentioned this in my previous video, but for those who didn't watch that one, Yunli will be a great pickup to consider if you're lacking physical damage dealers, for example, Argenti, Boothill, Clara, and so on. If you are missing physical coverage on your account or are newer, depending on how powerful her skill kit ends up being, which I'll showcase her once I'm able to, then she could potentially be a great DPS option for your account. As for Jiaoqiu, he is a fire and agility character, and I would always recommend if you do have Acheron and are focusing on potentially upgrading or improving your Acheron team, to consider taking a look at the upcoming agility characters to see if they can improve that team in particular. I'll be going over Jiaoqiu's potential though once we get that live stream, and then give my full thoughts once I am able to test him out as well. As for Feixiao, personally this character is the one I'm most hyped for version 2.5. Feixiao is a wind hunt character, and we don't really have much wind coverage for our damage dealers, as it's primarily Black Swan and Sample for damage over time, Blade, and then lastly Don Hung, who is the same elements in path as Feixiao, and he is a starter character who you acquire at the beginning of the game. While we don't know the specifics of her just yet, I will say the hunt characters have been quite interesting with their skill kits as of lately, which includes abilities that can allow them to provide supportive utility for the team alongside damage. For example, Topaz and Numbi with Proof of Debt, or characters who excel at destroying enemies with their skill kits, and even having the power to one-shot them and implant enemies with their elements, such as Boothill, who is our certified boss killer. I do believe Feixiao has potential to be a very nice DPS option, especially for those who are lacking wind options because of how scarce the element is. As for our second character of 2.5 being Lingsha, you essentially will have the opportunity to get a damage dealer, being Yunli or Feixiao, a debuffer, being Jiaoqiu, and lastly a sustained character, which is Lingsha. I do believe these patches are nice chances to get a character to improve your account further depending on what you are lacking. This also doesn't account for reruns, which could be nice options too, but I'll go over more character specifics once we get that live stream and I can give firm pulling opinions on who I suggest to fully go for, depending on what you may or may not have on your account. As for my last piece of advice, I try to give this recommendation to all whenever I make these types of videos, but I would say if you're on the fence about who to pull, always wait for the live stream that will showcase the character, and then also those creator experience videos, as it provides an early showcase of the character, which I've been trying to showcase characters before they come out so you guys have an idea if you would like them on your account or not, and of course sharing my thoughts on them. Showcases and live stream can help you make a firm decision if you're not too sure on what the best decision is just yet. So I would always say if you're unsure during the second half of a banner to look out for the stream and then early showcases before pulling on the secondary character of that version update, especially if you are a free-to-play player. Overall though, I'm super excited for the upcoming character lineup, especially 2.5. That one has my interest the most. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it, share my thoughts. Super excited to see what Lingsha and Feixiao's kits will be. Once you get more information on that, I'll definitely be able to cover that. That'll be all from me though. Let me know if you guys are excited for our new 2.5 characters coming up, who you plan to pull between 2.4 and 2.5, or if you're looking for a particular rerun, or you just plan to skip both of these patches so far. I should also be uploading another video tomorrow regarding team comps in Honkai Star Rail, so if you guys are interested in that, do make sure to subscribe, and I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. Leave a like to also support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.